In this next chapter, we'll be looking at self-healing using CSS selectors. Using test case Web 1, we will continue to interact with the same web elements, which are the Make Appointment button, username with input username as the element, and the password text box. Let's go ahead and check on their selection methods. For this button, it is set as Xpath, and like all we did in the last chapter, this locator will be broken due to the addition of Katalon Studio has broken this locator in its ID attribute, and the same goes for the other two. I'll get my trusted self-healing on. All of my locator methods are checked, so this simply means that if Studio couldn't find an alternative element locator using Xpath, then it will go on with attributes, CSS selectors, and image until a replacement is found. Everything looks good. Click on Apply and Close, and let's run our test case. We'll now take a closer look at the log viewer, step 3 to be specific. As shown, Xpath was not able to locate an alternative element locator, so it continued searching. Finally, CSS selector was the one that got the job done. On the right, you can see the full message of Xpaths were broken, healed by CSS selector. Same went for the fifth step. Xpath was unable to find a username, and CSS selector stepped in and saved the day. Whereas for step number 6, it didn't repeat the cycle of self-healing again, but instead took the working alternative in step 5 and used it as the same username object. For step 7, since this broken test object was being interacted for the first time, self-healing kickstarted again. Then step 8, 9, and 10 worked fine. So to end this on a good note, a total of 3 alternative locators were found during our execution, namely in step 3, 5, and 7. I'll switch over to the self-healing insights, and the 3 broken locators are listed here, which were self-healed by CSS selector. Over in the screenshot column, you can view and see specifically what went wrong. In this case, those are the Make Appointment button, username, and password text boxes. Alright, now I'll uncheck the first proposal and only approve the other 2 to see what happens. Discard the first one, and let's run this test case again. And just a reminder on when to discard self-healing. If you already know why your element locator has failed and have a specific value to replace it, go ahead and update the object with your value manually without applying self-healing suggestions. Let's get back to our test. In this rerun, step 5 and 7 will only apply the CSS selector method suggested by self-healing, not the ones that were initially broken. Yet for step 3, as we discard the self-healing suggestion, self-healing stepped in once again. Similar here, but click on the test objects. Alright, password, CSS selector, username, CSS selector, and Make the Appointment button, the same old default and broken Xpath, just like what we've said. Click on Self-Healing Insight here again, and this time we'll approve self-healing suggestion for step 3. Let's rerun this test for the last time. Works like a charm. Step 3, apply the CSS alternative and self-healing no longer has to be involved. Step 8, here will be a bit slower than the rest since we're using image as the locator. Alright, all done. Let's end this demo here and see you in the next one.